Good afternoon, Roy, McDonald's Corporation, and other managers of McDonald's. My name is Isabella Valdez,
My name is Emery Floyd.
My name is Elvin Harris.
and we are doing our feasibility proposal on McDonald's break room. First off, we want to talk about the problem. The main problem is the break room size. McDonald's crew room does not accommodate for all of its employees while they are on their meal break. The crew room hardly is sufficient in size to be comfortable on break. As you can see on the picture to the left, to the right, um, it is extremely messy and very inaccommodate to people trying to eat their food. The room is often filled with items from the morning and mid-shift, thus creating an abundance of items from the employees. Why is this a problem? As you can see in the picture to your right, there is a clown stuffed in a car trying to eat their food. This is what we feel like every time we are on break. I am an employee at the McDonald's on Alameda, and I suffer from this problem. It is very uncomfortable and displeasing to be eating in a room where I can barely even fit. Well, that's exaggerating, kind of, but it is very uncomfortable to eat there. The seating shared by the public of all workplace staff should be accommodating enough to fit more than three people. Potential problems range from discomfort, tiredness, and the inability to eat food properly. While working many hours of fast food and hard labor, it would be a benefit to have a seating area where relaxation and unwinding can occur. Not only do we work hard, but we want to be able to relax, rest our feet, be able to just relax and chill out on our breaks. We only have 30 minutes.
So we decided what better way to have some input than to make a survey, make a survey and get a lot of different data and get a lot of different people's opinion on what they think. So this is a real QR code that we created and that we put together. So you can scan this right here, right now, and go ahead and take our survey. Um, we put our survey up on social media around campus just to get some data and just to get some people's opinion. So if you go to the next slide, um, these are our survey questions. First and foremost, we ask like, do you even eat McDonald's? And then we go on to ask, how often do you eat McDonald's? And then we start to transition into getting our real target audience and the real point of the survey. Do you work at a McDonald's location? And then we go on to get even more specific, as in, do you work at the exact location as my peer Bella? And do you like go through the same things as her? Then we go on to ask, have you ever wondered where McDonald's workers take their breaks? And if so, where would you guess? So we didn't get as much as we expected to, but we did get enough data for us to just to help us out and just to see other people's opinion. So the main one that we wanted to see was the last one, which is a short answer, and we got about six or seven replies on that, and they were just going on to say that they never really even considered that McDonald's workers wouldn't have a designated spot for them where it can fit 10 to 12 people at a time, especially with it being such a successful and such a historic franchise as it is. So we decided to come up with a solution. And Roy, so our solution is to create an outdoor break area just for the employees. Creating a specific spot just for the employees, where they can sit down, have multiple different spots to sit at, and they have a shade to cover over them. That way they can enjoy their break and be able to sit comfortably.
All right. So we have here some steps that we wanted to break down to you. So the first step is basically just carrying out the plan, and it's to propose this idea to Roy, our store manager. So Roy is the operator of this franchise. So he's the operator of like that store. And we will pitch this proposal to him with all the resources thought out. So after being given the approval, then we could start beginning to take action. So step two, we want to work with some cheap contractors and maintenance to create our outdoor space for the break area because probably the cheaper it is, the easier it's going to be to just get this done. So we're going to find the right spot and remove rocks and laying down the concrete. So this step needs to be accomplished before we get any material or equipment. So we will have to do construction in the winter. So by the time it's done, it could be accessed and put to use. So step three. This is probably the most important one. We'll have to buy the material and the equipment needed for the outdoor break area. We'll have to take a look at our budget and again to gather the material and equipment necessary. So we'll need the tables, the umbrellas, the sandbags, the fake flowers to make the aesthetics look nice. And we'll need the outdoor space to just look nice and comfortable so that employees will actually take their break outside because the break room is small and they won't have to sit in their cars or sit outside where they can have some shade and enjoy their break.
So step four, installing the equipment, actually putting the plan to real action. So we would need to install the equipment and materials that we bought. And creating an outdoor break area would ultimately reduce crowding inside the current room right now. And employees without cars, like Elvin just mentioned, they would have a place to go and be more satisfied, and honestly just be able to take a breath on your break and be able to unplug and kick your feet up for your 15 to 30 minutes. And then step five, the the finished result to everything. So employees actually being able to enjoy their new break area. The employees at McDonald's would no longer need to worry about where they would take their breaks or worry about getting fined if they're sitting inside, because that's actually crazy. Going to work and sitting inside and being fined for sitting inside on your break. And ultimately, this would just enhance property's appearance, and this would demonstrate to us that Roy actually cares and is concerned about the workers' well-being, which can overall increase morale and just create a better workspace environment for everybody on the team.
And some of the benefits that would come out of accomplishing this proposal would be that more than three people can take a break at the same time. That would greatly increase the number of people that we can send on break at the same time when there's a lot of people on shift. Also, that people won't get fined for sitting in the dining area of McDonald's. And as Emery mentioned earlier, yes, people do get fined for eating in the dining area, which is insane, especially for employees just trying to have a good break and enjoy their time comfortably. They would also have a comfortable space and place to take a break where they can be relieved of all of the stresses from the previous hours and everything like that. Also, they can enjoy fresh air from smelling grease because working in a tight enclosed space with all of the people, most of them have body odor from smelling all of the time and just running around and everything like that, but also just like the smell of fried food, all the chicken, the fish being fried, along with the fries being fried, all of it's just so smelly. So being able to sit outside and having a place that would accommodate this would be very refreshing and very increasing to our mental health and just our physical well-being overall.
Okay, so our cost breakdown is pretty simple here. I think Roy will be gladly to see that. We don't cost really a lot. So For the stuff that we need, we'll need sandbags, tables, the picnic tables that you can see on your right, the umbrellas that you can see on your right, and then we'll need fake flowers, just spice it up a little bit, make it look good. So we found three different locations that we could buy these materials from, and they're placed right here at this chart that you can see. So I'll go through it. So for Dick's Sporting Goods, the sandbags are $47. Lowe's, they're $40. And Home Depot, they're $13. You have to buy them by each like pound at Home Depot. And then Dick's and Lowe's it's like a big like set that you could buy. So for tables, at Dick's, they're 246. At Lowe's, they're 308. And at Home Depot, they're 253. And then for umbrellas, at Dick's, they're $69.95. At Lowe's, they're $89. And at Home Depot, they're $91. And then the fake flowers, at Dick's, you could get them for $12. And then at Lowe's, you could buy a big pack of fake flowers for $30. And then for Home Depot, you'll buy them by each flower of like $9.78. So I think Roy would be, I think he'll be okay with just this breakdown of like stuff that we need because it doesn't cost that much.
So in closing, as an employee of a huge corporation being McDonald's, we want to make sure that it's easier than we think to get corporations to listen to our thoughts and concerns. So in order to do that, we want to make sure that they're listening to this argument, to what we have to say, to what I have to say as an employee of McDonald's, and be able to make sure our voices are heard. In doing so, Roy will be able to be made aware of the situation, and what he chooses to do with that is on him, basically. So if he listens to this proposal and chooses to do nothing about it, that basically is saying he doesn't care about our concerns or well-being as employees of a huge corporation. We also think that all employees will reap the benefits of this action, meaning that if we have a designated break room area outside strictly for employees, this will increase the morale and the mental health of all of the employees that work there daily, not just the ones that are on night shift. It'd be for morning, midday, and night shift for everyone to enjoy. It would also decrease the amount of time and people spent in the break room in the back so that they're not sitting in a cramped space for their breaks and while they're eating and everything like that. And it'll give them room and space to breathe. It'll give them the option to hang their stuff in the break rooms, reducing the amount of stuff that's in the place where people are eating, and it'll just open up the space for everybody overall, increasing the employment rate and just retaining employees as well. So that's what we have to say about our McDonald's proposal crew room. That is our recommendation and proposal. We do hope that Roy and McDonald's corporations and managers listen to our needs and our wants. And basically, it's just a right of human life at this point. We shouldn't be eating in tight spaces like that. And we do need to do better for our employees if we want to retain them and keep them working at the store. Thank you so much for your time.